Hi everyone, I'm Mumu from Susan's family. Today, I'll teach you the swallow spring sachet hanging ornament from the Chinese aesthetics series. This hanging ornament is divided into crocheting, accessories, and sewing together. Complete the crocheting part first. Then make the accessories. And sew all parts together. Please pay attention. A single kit can make 2 swallows of different sizes. The bigger swallow serves as the hanging ornament, while the smaller one can be used as a brooch. This tutorial will demonstrate the method using the bigger swallow as an example. The method for the smaller swallow is similar to the bigger one. The difference lies in the row numbers, stitch counts, and accessories part. After you finish making the bigger swallow and learn the method, you can, according to your needs, crochet the smaller swallow based on its chart. The yarn used in the finished product is relatively thin. You can first use the yarn at home to learn the crochet method, and then crochet with the original yarn. The crocheted parts include the head piece, body piece, belly piece, short tail piece, eyes piece, left and right legs, long tail piece and feathers. Start by learning the head piece. There are a total of 2 pieces. We will start from foundation chain and work back and forth. Finally, crochet on the edges. The stitches used include chain, single crochet, and SC2 in 1. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, work the foundation chain. Take out the corresponding yarn. For convenience in viewing, I will use cotton yarn for the demonstration. The colors are random for specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes. Please refer to the detail page of our product and the charts. Start by making 1 knot. Slightly tighten it. Then crochet 7 chains. The foundation chain is complete. Now move on to the first row. Start with 1 chain as the turning chain for the single crochet. This doesn't count as 1 stitch. Then, on the second to last chain, pick up the back ridge from the wrong side of the chain. That is, a strand like this. Crochet 1 X stitch single crochet. Insert the hook. Place the hook above the yarn. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through once again. That completes 1 X stitch single crochet. Pay attention, except for the long tail piece at the back and the feather part, which uses regular single crochets. All other pieces use X stitch single crochets. You can also crochet according to your own preference. The sample here is referred to as single crochets. Continue by picking up the left back ridge and crocheting 1 single crochet. Remember to place the hook above the yarn while crocheting. Keep picking up the back ridges and work single crochets to finish this row. The first row is completed. Now, move on to the second row. Start with 1 chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Pick up and crochet 7 single crochets evenly. Note that when crocheting on the wrong side, the stitches are located on the upper left. Next, on the edge of the first row, pick up approximately 1 strand in the right position, and work 1 single crochet. Below, you've reached the foundation chain. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the foundation chain. This means you'll work single crochets corresponding to the braids. If you can't find the foundation chain here, you can count the braids from this point. After finishing, the second row is also completed. We'll take the side with the clearer texture as the right side of the piece. That is, the side where the single crochets have this crisscross texture. Continue with the third row. Start with 1 chain. Turn the work over. Pick up the stitches and work 6 single crochets correspondingly. After completing, work 1 SC2 in 1 on the left single crochet, that is, work 2 single crochets in the same position. SC2 in 1 completed. Continue picking up stitches, and work 2 SC2 in 1 correspondingly. After finishing, work single crochets 1 by 1 in correspondence. Finish this row. The third row is complete. Move on to the fourth row. Start with 1 chain. Turn the work over. Pick up stitches, and work 6 single crochets correspondingly. After completing, you'll reach the increase placement. Work 1 SC2 in 1 after skipping 1 single crochet. Do this a total of 3 times. First time. Second time. Third time. After finishing, continue working single crochets in correspondence. The fourth row is complete. Next is the fifth row. Continue crocheting by turning the work. Work single crochets evenly at the beginning and end. Refer to the chart for increases at the top. Work all single crochets for the sixth row. Everyone should complete it. Finally, crochet the seventh row. Follow the thread from the end of the sixth row. Make one chain. The left side is the edge of the piece. You can see these spaces between rows. Pick up the spaces and work single crochets correspondingly. Start crocheting from the first space. Weave the yarn tail as you encounter it. After completing the last space, work one single crochet into the starting single crochet of the previous row. Refer to the chart to check the number of single crochets on the edge. The seventh row is completed. Now break the yarn. Secure with one chain. Pull up the loop to enlarge. Leave a 40 cm yarn tail and cut. Pull tight. This completes one piece for the head. You can trim any remaining yarn tails that haven't been woven. Crochet the other head piece in the same way. Everyone can now finish it. That concludes the explanation of the head piece. Next, we will learn how to make the body piece. There are two identical ones. We will start from foundation chain. Work back and forth first. Then crochet in rounds. Finally, switch colors and work one row. The new stitch used here is slip stitch. Please watch me demonstrate the exact crochet method. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding number of chains. After completion, start with the first row. Begin with one chain. On the second to last chain, insert the hook into the back ridge, and work one SC2 in 1. Work single crochets evenly. When you reach the chain position at the end, work one SC2 in 1. The first row is completed. Continue with the second row. Start with 1 chain. Turn your work. Begin by working 2 SC2 in 1. Work single crochets evenly in the middle section. Work 2 SC2 in 1 at the end. The second row is completed. We will consider the side with the clearer texture as the right side of this row. For rows 3 through 7, continue crocheting back and forth. Pay attention to increase stitches on both sides according to the chart. When counting rows, you can count the alternating patterns of single crochet textures like this. Starting from round 8, continue working back and forth. After completing the stitch positions of the previous row, you need to crochet along the edge. Start with 1 chain. Rotate the piece. Pick up the spaces between rows on the side and work corresponding single crochets. When you reach the foundation chain, pick up the remaining strands and work corresponding single crochets. Continue picking up spaces on the other side and crochet. After completing the last space, work 1 slip stitch into the starting single crochet. Do not tighten the oval-shaped slip stitch. Leave a 50 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. The 8th round is completed. Now crochet the final 9th row. Join the yarn at the slip stitch join spot from the previous round. Joining the yarn is complete. Make 1 chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Weave in the yarn tail as you go. Pick up stitches, and work corresponding single crochets. Crochet until you reach the chains of the previous round. This will be at the corner. Work 2 single crochets in the same position, this chain in the middle. The 9th row is completed. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail before cutting the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail on the wrong side following the texture. Be mindful not to affect the stitches. You can weave in more stitches if needed. Trim off any excess yarn tails. That completes one body piece. You can crochet the other body piece using the same method. Now let's learn how to crochet the belly piece. We will start from foundation chain. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitches we'll use are half double crochet and HDC 2-in-1. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with a chain. Then begin crocheting the first round. First, make 1 chain. On the second to last chain, pick up the back ridge and work a SC 2-in-1. Continue by picking up the back ridge and working 4 single crochets correspondingly. After completing, on the last chain, work 3 single crochets. Now rotate the piece. Pick up the remaining chains and work 4 single crochets correspondingly. Be mindful not to crochet into the first chain. Weave the yarn tails together. At this final insertion point, work a SC 2-in-1. Lastly, on the starting single crochet, work 1 slip stitch. The joining slip stitch at the end of the round doesn't count as 1 stitch. It needs to be tightened. This prevents crocheting too many stitches later. The first round is complete. We will continue with the side that has clearer texture as the right side. Continue crocheting the second round. Start with 1 chain. Begin from the first stitch of the previous round, which is the slip stitch entry position from the previous round. Crochet the corresponding stitch pattern. Pay attention, the number of increased stitches at both ends of the piece are different. End with a slip stitch at the starting chain. Tighten it. The second round is complete. For the following rounds 3 to 4, continue crocheting in rounds. Note that the number of increased stitches at each end differs. Everyone refer to the chart while crocheting. After completion, the right side of the piece will show these raised textures. Count these textures from the middle starting point. You'll be able to tell how many rounds you've crocheted. Below, we'll start the 5th round. First, make 1 chain. Work 1 single crochet into the slip stitch position from the previous round. Continue and correspondingly make 2 single crochets. Then, work 2 half double crochets. Here, the half double crochet can be worked using the method for X stitch single crochet, or you can also work it with a regular yarn over. Everyone can choose according to their own habits. Below, work 1 HDC 2 in 1. That is, work 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. The HDC 2 in 1 is completed. Continue and correspondingly make 1 half double crochet. 1 HDC 2 in 1. One half double crochet, then continue to follow the chart for crocheting. After completing the last 3 single crochets, finish with a slip stitch. The 5th round is complete. For the 6th round, continue crocheting in rounds. End with a slip stitch. Everyone can follow the chart to crochet. Finally, leave a 30 cm yarn tail, and break the yarn. This completes the belly piece. Next, learn how to make the short tail piece. Crochet on the belly piece. During the process, you need to switch colors. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Take out the belly piece. Have the right side facing you. Position the yarn tail upwards. Locate the 3rd single crochet of the last round. On the wrong side, insert your hook into the stitch to join the yarn. Start by crocheting the first row. Begin with 1 chain. Skip 1 stitch on the left side. Crochet 4 half double crochets in the slip stitch position. Weave the yarn tail as you go. Place the yarn tails from the belly piece on the wrong side for later handling. Crochet 3 half double crochets in the next stitch. Skip 1 stitch. Correspondingly make 2 slip stitches. No need to tighten it. The first row is completed. Move on to the second row. Start with 1 chain. Turn your work. On the middle 7 half double crochets. Alternate between SC2 in 1 and single crochets. After completing, into the left stitch of the previous row's joining position. Work 1 slip stitch. Cut the yarn. The second row is completed. Finally, crochet the third row. Continue crocheting on the right side. Take the corresponding yarn. Make a slip stitch at the end of the first row. Join the yarn on the right stitch. Crochet 1 chain. Skip the starting chain from the previous row. Crochet 3 half double crochets into the left single crochet. We'll call this a leaf. Slip stitch into the next stitch. You can gently tighten it slightly. Don't pull it too tight. Continue alternating between crocheting leaves and slip stitches. Finish crocheting at the stitch position. After completing the last leaf, slip stitch into the left stitch of the slip stitch from the previous row. Cut the yarn. All yarn tails should be woven on the wrong side. Everyone can now finish this part. This completes the short tail piece. Next, let's learn how to crochet the eyepieces. There are a total of 2 eyepieces. Both use the magic ring method to start. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Please watch the demonstration. Start with a magic ring. After completing the ring, crochet the first round. Chain 1 to begin. Crochet 6 single crochets into the magic ring. After that, close the magic ring. Finally, end with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. If you do not know where the very first stitch is, you can count the stitches from back to front. Pull tight. The first round is complete. Continue to follow the chart for the second round. Weave the starting yarn tail together. Do not pull the slip stitch too tight at the end. Stretch the loop. Leave a 30 cm tail and cut the yarn. From the insertion point of the slip stitch, draw the yarn to the wrong side through the left stitch. Then draw it again to the wrong side, from the chain where the yarn tail is located. Adjust accordingly. This way, the slip stitch mark won't be visible on the surface when finishing off. Place the yarn tail on the wrong side for later handling. The starting yarn tail has already been woven around one round. Cut off the yarn. This completes one eyepiece. You can crochet the other eyepiece in the same way. Next, let's learn how to make the left and right legs. The left and right here refer to the swallow's left and right sides. Both legs are started with the magic ring technique. First, crochet in rounds, then work on the extended part. The new stitches used here are SC2 tog and HDC2 tog. Please watch as I demonstrate the detailed crocheting method. Let's start with the right leg. The first round is similar to the first round of the eye, but you'll work 8 single crochets into the magic ring. Refer to the chart and complete it. The sample has already been crocheted in advance. Next, move on to the second row. Start with 9 chains. Turn your work. Begin from the second chain. Insert the hook into the back ridge, and work 1 slip stitch. 1 single crochet. 1 SC2 tog. First, correspondingly make 2 unclosed single crochets. Insert into the left side's back ridge. Draw the yarn through. The first stitch is complete. Continue with the second stitch. Insert into the adjacent back ridge. Pull the yarn through. The second stitch is done. Yarn over and pull through. SC2 tog completed. Continue with 1 single crochet. 1 HDC2 tog. First, make 2 unclosed half double crochets. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. The first stitch is complete. Continue with the second stitch. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. The second stitch is complete. Yarn over and pull through all loops. The HDC2 tog is now completed. Finally, work 1 half double crochet. Then slip stitch into the placement of the slip stitch from the previous round. On the left side, slip stitch into the stitch that is 1 stitch apart. Do not pull too tight. Leave a 30 cm tail to bind off. The method is the same as before. Place the yarn tail on the wrong side, and set it aside for now. Weave in the starting tail on the blurry texture of the wrong side, then trim. You can use a darning needle to help with this step. That completes the right leg. Next, we will crochet the left leg. The starting technique for round 1 matches the corresponding position of the right leg. Everyone can finish this part on their own. Below, we will start working on row 2. First, crochet 7 chains. Then start from the second to last chain. Pick up the back ridge and work the corresponding stitch pattern. Finally, join with a slip stitch on the third stitch of round 1. Do not pull too tight. Leave a 30 cm tail to bind off. Weave in the starting yarn tail. That completes the left leg. Now we have finished explaining both the left and right legs. Next, we will crochet the long tail piece. We will start from foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows. You need to add thin wire during the process. Before we begin crocheting, let's take a look at the chart. In the chart, H plus number represents the row number. The stitch instructions column describes the stitches and increases or decreases. When working the current round, the total stitches column shows the total number of stitches after completing that round. The stitches used include X for single crochet, V for SC 2-in-1, CH for chain, and SL for slip stitch. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with 30 ch. This means the foundation chain is made using chains. First, work the corresponding number of chains. After completing this, begin crocheting row 1. Dow 2 indicates starting the crocheting from the second to last chain. Insert the hook into the back ridge of the second to last chain. Work 1 slip stitch. Note, after inserting into the back ridge, take out the thin wire, tidy it up, and make it straight. Place it above the hook. Leave about 3 centimeters on the right side. Then continue crocheting. The slip stitches here do not need to be tightened, and they count as 1 stitch. Continue picking up the back ridge and work 1 slip stitch. Here, you need to continue wrapping the wire. Fold the wire on the right side over. Pinch the fold position tightly. You can use pliers to assist here. Due to the nature of the slip stitch, the wire needs to be placed below the hook. Crochet this stitch to wrap the wire. Below, continue picking up the back ridge and work single crochets. Pay attention. Here, for convenience in crocheting, you can use regular single crochets. Continue wrapping the thin wire inside. After completing the corresponding number of single crochets, continue with slip stitches correspondingly. Mind the position when wrapping the wire. After completion, tidy up the piece. Leave about 5 centimeters of the wire and cut it off. We will use the clearer texture side as the right side of the piece. Weave the excess wire on the wrong side, following the texture. Here, you can use a needle for assistance. The actual yarn is quite thin. You can also use a thin needle to finish it off. If it's difficult to finish, you can directly fold the wire to the back side instead. Use pliers to clamp it tightly. Leave about 1 centimeter and cut it off. This part will be sewn into the piece later. It won't affect the appearance. This completes the first row. Continue to crochet the second row. Start with a chain. Turn means to turn the work over. Below, BLO stands for picking up the back loop only. Here we start with a slip stitch. Pick the back loop. Work 1 slip stitch. Keep picking the back loops and crochet the corresponding number of slip stitches. When you reach the single crochet position, just pick up the back loop and work the stitch. After completing the slip stitch, there will be 5 stitches remaining at the end. On the left side, work 2 single crochets into the 2 back loops correspondingly. Leave the remaining stitches unworked. The second row is now complete. Move on to the third row. Start with 1 chain. Turn your work over. Flow means picking up the front loop only for crocheting. K stands for skipping a stitch. Skip the first stitch. Start from the next stitch. Pick up the front loop and work a single crochet. For the slip stitch position, just pick up the front loop closer to you, and crochet accordingly. After completing the single crochet, continue picking up the front loop and working a slip stitch. Once finished, the third row will be completed. After finishing each row, you can refer to the chart to check the stitch count. Note that the turning chain doesn't count as 1 stitch. For rows 4 to 12, follow the same crochet technique as rows 2 and 3, refer to the chart and work back and forth. Pay attention, leave the last 2 stitches unworked at the ending. Do not leave any stitches unworked at the end of row 12. The piece will form this kind of texture. On the right side, it creates a staircase shape like this. When counting rows, you can count the alternating single crochets and chain textures. Everyone, refer to the chart and finish it. Below, work on row 13. Start with 2 chains. Turn your work on the second to last chain. Pick up the front loop and make 1 SC2 in 1. That is, crochet by picking up this 1 strand of yarn. Continue picking up the front loops and crocheting the corresponding stitches. Row 13 is now completed. For row 14, continue crocheting based on the chart. After completing it, continue with row 15. Start by crocheting 3 chains. Turn your work on the second to last chain. Pick up the front loop and make 1 SC2 in 1. That is, the strand of yarn above. For the next chain, pick up the front loop and make 1 single crochet. Continue picking up the front loops and crocheting the corresponding stitches. Complete row 15. For the following rows, follow the stitch pattern used in rows 14 and 15. Refer to the chart and continue crocheting downward. Mind that you need to add a thin wire on the last row. Here, I'll demonstrate with a sample. Start by crocheting 3 chains. Turn your work. Go back and crochet 2 slip stitches. Pay attention to adding the thin wire. Continue crocheting according to the stitch pattern in the chart, and wrap the wire. Leave a 20 cm yarn tail, and then cut the yarn. Adjust the piece properly. Leave a bit of the wire. Weave it or bend it to the wrong side. Weave in the starting yarn tail. This completes the long tail piece. Lastly, learn how to make the feathers. There are 2 pieces in total. Crochet them separately along the edges of the body. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, take one of the body pieces. Find the first stitch of the last row on the right side. Insert the hook into the stitch and join the yarn. Crochet 3 chains. Start from the second to last chain. Pick the back ridge and crochet 1 single crochet correspondingly. Here, you can crochet regular single crochets. I won't repeat this reminder later on. Continue with 1 slip stitch. Then, on the left stitch at the bodice joining position, crochet 1 slip stitch. We will count this stitch as part of the stitch count. The first row is now complete. Continue with the second row. Start with 1 chain. Turn your work over. For this row, pick the back loops to crochet. Skip the starting slip stitch first. Slip stitch into the back loop of the next braid. Crochet 1 single crochet into the next back loop. The second row is now complete. Next, work on the third row. Start with 1 chain. Turn your work over. For this row, continue picking the back loops. Correspondingly, crochet 1 single crochet. Then, make 1 slip stitch. Slip stitch into the next stitch on the body. The third row is now complete. For rows 4 through 7, repeat the techniques used in rows 2 and 3. Work these twice. Pay attention to picking up stitches on the body piece for slip stitch. For all other positions, pick the back loops for crocheting. When crocheting on the wrong side, be mindful of skipping stitches. Everyone, complete this section. Next, move on to row 8. Start with 1 chain. Turn your work over. Start from the back loop of the initial slip stitch. Correspondingly work 1 slip stitch. Work 2 single crochets. Row 8 is now completed. For the next row, continue to follow the chart for crocheting. Finally, pick up stitches on the body piece, and work a slip stitch. Row 9 is now completed. For the remaining rows, continue crocheting back and forth. Crochet on the right side. At the end, slip stitch on the body piece. Pay attention, for some rows you need to skip 1 stitch and then slip stitch. When crocheting on the wrong side, for some rows, you need to skip the initial slip stitch. For others, start directly from this slip stitch and crochet. And there are also rows where you start with K2. This means skipping both this slip stitch and the slip stitch on the left side. Then pick up the back loop of the next stitch and continue crocheting. Everyone can refer to the previous demonstration and follow the chart for crocheting. Be mindful not to miscount the repeated sections while crocheting. You can count the texture of single crochet on both sides of the horizontal line to confirm the row number. On the right side, it looks like V-shaped loops. On the wrong side, there are small horizontal bars. Make sure not to crochet incorrectly. At the end, leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters, fasten off, and weave in the ends. For the other feather on the other piece of the body, crochet following the same method. In the end, it will create an effect like this. Everyone can finish it. That's it for the explanation of the feathers. The crocheted parts have also been explained thoroughly.